What you see before you is a maze. You are at the start of the maze here, and your goal is to get to the finish of the maze here as quickly as you can. Now, how most people act when they're trying to build $1 million business is a bit like this. They weave in and out, and maybe one day, if they're lucky, they'll hit their goal, which is indeed the fastest way to get from point A to point B. Or is it? There's obviously another way, a way that's faster, easier, and safer. And it's this. I never said you couldn't do that. It just requires thinking outside the box. And when it comes to making money online, it is very rare to think outside the box. But better yet, this is still not the fastest way possible. Imagine for a second if we could go up and we could make this thing three-dimensional and go directly from here to here. That would actually be the fastest way to go from point A to point B. And when it comes to building $1 million online business, I believe that I have the equivalent of that for you here today. The way that will allow you to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And I believe that you are about to witness the greatest YouTube training that you have ever seen. You see, I struggled for months with dropshipping, and after I found the method that I'm about to show you, I made my first sale on October 21st for over $14,000. In the next 39 days after that, I crossed $177,000. And in just my third month, I crossed over $215,000 in one single month. And it's not just me. The method that I'll be sharing with you has helped thousands of entrepreneurs generate a collective over $50 million in the last 2 years. And because of the amazing results that this thing delivers, this is the only model on the internet that would pass what I call my BFF test. If my very best friend in the world came up to me and said, Brooke, I don't have much money and I don't have much time, but I need to make money online. And if I can't figure out a way to make money online, I'm going to lose my family. What would I recommend to him? For years, I would have had no answer. I didn't have that overwhelming event, that disruption, that thing that could make you win even if you had never won before. The axe that is so sharp that you could just lazily lean back, take a swing, and knock down a tree. I didn't have the opportunity of all opportunities, and now I finally do. And the answer starts with what's around you right now. It starts with what's in your living room, what's in your bathroom, what's in your backyard, what's at your favorite gym, what's at the park you go to. There are tens of thousands of these products that cost over $1,000 that surround you every single day. Listen, my friend, you are in the middle of what I like to call the once-in-a-lifetime profit storm, where there is truly an exploding market full of people spending insane amounts of money. And we can now take that market and add on to it exciting new technologies like artificial intelligence, the secret weapon that I'll be sharing with you here in just a few minutes. You are in the right place at the right time with the best opportunity on the internet right now. So here is exactly what we'll be talking about here today. First, we're going to discuss the best opportunity on the internet, and you'll have that proven before your very eyes. And I'll show you how you can take advantage of it with zero experience. Yes, I said zero, and yes, I mean it. Then we will discuss the 4 steps to building a multi-million-dollar online business and how you can use technology to do all of the grunt work for you. And lastly, I'll show you a secret method where you can make over $1,000 take-home profit every time you sell an item without spending a single penny in advertising. And as a reward for investing your time here today, I'll show you how to access a secret database that I built where you can find $1 million products and $1 million suppliers within just a few clicks. Could you click a button if it meant finding a $1 million product that could change your life? So you might be thinking, what does it take to build a multi-million-dollar per year dropshipping business? A lot of people approach this question completely wrong. Imagine for a second you're tasked with putting together a puzzle that has 10,000 pieces. It's going to feel a little bit overwhelming at first. But let's say first you put together a system where you broke down the puzzle pieces into groups based on patterns, based on colors, based upon where the corners of the puzzle were. And then you start assembling small section by small section. All of a sudden, your 10,000 piece puzzle has become way more manageable. Well, let's do that for our $1 million per year e-commerce business. Let's break it down into more manageable components and handle each one step at a time. $1 million per year works out to $83,000 per month. And $83,000 per month works out to around $2,700 per day. And if we were going to sell items that cost $50 or or so, that means we need to sell around 55 items per day to hit $2,700. And while 55 items in one day might sound like a lot, at least now you have something to aim at that's a lot more manageable than just $1 million. Just like the maze I mentioned earlier, is selling $50 items really the fastest way to get to $1 million? Let's say you had to dig a 5-foot hole. Technically, you could dig the hole with a spoon if you wanted to, but using a shovel is going to make your life 1,000 times easier. And it's the same thing with e-commerce. Selling $50 items is equivalent to using a spoon to dig a 5-foot hole, where selling $3,000 plus items is equivalent to using a shovel. Because when we sell $3,000 items, to get to $1 million in a year, we need to sell under 1 item per day instead of 55. Think about how incredible that is for just a second. You're running a $1 million per year business selling under 1 item per day. That means under 1 customer per day to deal with. That means under 1 order to ship per day. Assuming you're running your business in the US, you have over 400 million people that you can sell to on the internet in the US alone. That's all you need to sell per day. So now what I'm gonna do is turn around my screen and show you exactly how to do this A to Z, step by step, so you can copy and paste the strategy that I used to go from 0 to over $6 million in under 2 years. Now, paycheck products have 2 main criteria. First, they cost a minimum of $1,000. Now, I want you to compare these 2 situations. Imagine you're selling a product like a fidget spinner, where you might make $2 profit per item, versus selling a sauna, where you might make $2,000 profit per item. So with $2 fidget spinners, you would have to sell 1,000 of them and deal with 1,000 customers, where with the sauna, you would sell 1 item to 1 single customer, and you would make the exact same amount of money in both of those situations. So what do you think is easier to manage as a first-time business owner? 1 customer or 1,000 customers? So are you starting to see why it makes so much more sense to sell these expensive items? It makes your life 100 times easier. Vince here sold 1 single item for over $21,000. So can you imagine hearing a cha-ching sound on your phone, looking down and seeing a notification for over $20,000? I remember when I made my first sale, my hand was literally shaking. What would that feel like for you? It would be absolutely life-changing, wouldn't it? Now, the second criteria of a winning product is existing demand and buyers already looking for the product that we're selling. So here's why that's important. Imagine you go up to the Arctic with a bag of ice, and you're trying to sell your ice to Eskimos there. Well, since ice is literally everywhere in the Arctic, it would be virtually impossible to sell the bag of ice, right? But now imagine if you took that exact same bag of ice and you went to the desert and you found a group of people who hadn't seen a glass of water in 3 days. Imagine how much easier it would be to sell it to them. Even though the item is exactly the same, it would be so much easier. So this is what it feels like when we choose a product that has built-in demand and buyers already looking for it. Now, historically, finding information like the price and the demand of products would have taken hours of time. So imagine you wanted to go on a road trip like 50 years ago. You would have had to take out a physical map and you would have had to figure everything out before you left. But now you can just pull open Google Maps, enter any destination in the world, and you will know how to get there in seconds. Well, I've got some news for you. I've been working on a secret project and it's finally finished. And hopefully we can get to what that is a bit later on. But for now, let's just say this secret project is the Google Maps of finding $1 million products online, where we can find $1 million items by clicking a few buttons. Could you click a few buttons? Click, click, 7-figure item. Well, I would hope so. So if you somehow figure out how to get access to this tool, and you can click a few buttons, you will have 7-figure products delivered to you on a silver platter. And if you don't want to use the tool, there are potentially some indirect ways you could guess and maybe figure out some of the data on things like price point and demand. But if you'd rather just find all that information in a click, then just stick around a little bit later on. But regardless of how you find the information, what's important is we want to find items that cost over $1,000 that have existing demand and buyers looking for them. Because when you do that, you can make sales like Adamo did here for over $10,000. And while selling $10,000 plus items might seem insane to you right now, that's okay, because I'm going to show you everything that you need to know. But hypothetically, let's just have a look at what selling these items could potentially do for your life. Let's assume you're going to make $3,000 profit per order, which is actually a low estimate. So Forrest here, he sold a single item for over $13,000, which would be closer to $5,000 profit. Taylor here sold a single item for over $17,000 500 euros, which would again be over $5,000 profit in American US dollars. But let's estimate purposely low, and we're just gonna go with $3,000 profit per item we sell. This $2.5 million Florida home with a $0 down payment has a mortgage that would be around $15,600 per month. So that means you would need to sell just over 5 products per month at $3,000 profit per order to pay off the entire monthly mortgage on a multi-million-dollar home. That's one sale every 6 days. Could you sell one item every 6 days? Of course you could, right? Or maybe you want a Lamborghini where the monthly payment is around $2,725, where you could sell one single item per month and it would cover your entire Lamborghini payment. One item per month. So are you starting to see how crazy this is? You only need to sell a couple of items per month to completely transform your life. Now, just to get you thinking, here are some examples of products that I've seen people make millions of dollars with. We've got luxury saunas, we've got fireplaces, we've got massage chairs, backyard fire pits, cryotherapy chambers, elderly care products like mobility scooters. And here's some crazier ones. We've got floor scrubbers, baseball pitching machines, emergency prep shelters, and there is thousands and thousands of items like this. And if you don't know what one is right for you right now, that is totally normal. For example, Mike here came to me. He had no idea what he wanted to sell. I helped him make a decision on a product, and in his very first month, he crossed over $31,000 in sales. And check out what Mike had to say about his experience in the program.
Yeah, my name's Mike Reese. I joined the incubator in like December 27th, I think was my intro call. And since then, I've been able to do about 35,000 in sales last month. I was looking for kind of a vehicle to start a business with. And I actually came across one of your posts on Twitter, and I was just reading through it, and I saw your free site at the time, and I was going through that, and I was like, all right, this dude definitely knows what he's talking about. My last 3-month segment from January 1st to March 31st, I went from not even having a store up and running, because that happened on like January 16th, to doing 35,000 in revenue and having a profitable store in 3 months. And that condensed time, like to reward ratio, is so much more valuable than trying to do it on your own or like forge your path. Like, just fuck doing all that. Like, it's everyone's interconnected right now. Find people who are doing what you want to do and find a vehicle for that. And this course is absolutely perfect for that.
So now that I've shown you the paycheck product criteria, I need to ask, does clicking a few buttons to find a multi-million-dollar product seem hard? Of course it doesn't, right? And would you be willing to click a few buttons to find a $1 million product that could change your life? Of course you would, right? So more on that secret project I told you about in a little bit. So once you've found a product, the next step is to find the top suppliers for that product type. And as I showed you earlier, one single supplier can equal millions of dollars. So here's the best part about working with these suppliers. And to show you, I'm gonna ask a question. So question for you, have you ever gone to a party or a social gathering and seen someone standing in the corner scrolling on their cell phone by themselves? It's kind of awkward, isn't it? Well, that's what it's like for a lot of new online business owners. Nobody knows their business and nobody is visiting their online shop. But pause. Let's rewind for a second. And imagine if you saw that same person that was sitting in the corner scrolling on their phone. But this time they walk into the same social gathering, the same party, they're dressed nice with a bunch of friends that you really respect and value. Would you feel more open to meeting them now than opposed to if they were just in the corner by themselves? You likely would, right? So that is the power of association. Because you respect the people that the person is with, you are instantly more likely to respect them. Well, that's what happens for us new business owners when we work with established brands. Customers are instantly more likely to trust us and more likely to buy from us because we get to leverage the name of brands that have been around for 20, 30, and sometimes even over 50 years. And we increase our own authority by selling these brands on our store. So for example, imagine you're starting a grill store and you partner with Napoleon Grills, which is a high-end grill brand that was founded in 1976, around 50 years ago. By simply selling their products on your store, your customers will automatically trust you because you have a partnership with a brand like Napoleon. And let me share a quick story to illustrate the power of this, okay? I've mentioned Cabrin a few times now. So he's the guy who built his store to $60,000 profit without any prior experience. So now listen very carefully to this interview clip.
So that same hotel that we got for 109, we ended up signing a vendor agreement for, and essentially they needed to replace multiple of their hotels for the product that we're selling, and so we've signed a vendor agreement for all their locations, and just for anyone that isn't aware, it's all on the Strip in Vegas, and so we got another hotel that we sent all of our products to, got the payment wire transferred, And I think after everything was settled, roughly like 168,000.
Is that not insane? As a complete beginner, he became a vendor for a hotel on the Las Vegas Strip where he gets regular orders for over $100,000. And the only reason that that is remotely possible is because Cabrin sells for high-end brands that the hotel already knew and trusted. And because Cabrin had partnerships with these high-end brands, the hotel on the Las Vegas Strip trusted him enough to send him $168,000 for one single order. So imagine customers visiting your virtual showroom with credit card in hand, ready to buy. And making sales feels as smooth as slicing butter because your customers already know and trust the brands that you sell for. Isn't that an absolutely insane shortcut for any new business owner? So now imagine for a second, I dropped you in the middle of this library and I told you to find me a specific book. It would probably take you a little while, wouldn't it? Well, historically, that's what finding these winning suppliers was like. It was a manual process that took time, and it was the biggest bottleneck for most people. And that's why I knew I needed to create a proprietary tool to solve this issue once and for all. Now imagine instead of looking through this library, if I just handed you an Amazon Kindle, and all you had to do was type in a few letters, and any book in the world would appear at your fingertips. It would make your life much easier, wouldn't it? Well, this proprietary tool that I built is exactly like an Amazon Kindle, but it's for finding seven-figure e-commerce suppliers. So what used to take weeks now takes seconds. And believe it or not, this tool is part of the secret project that I told you about a bit earlier. And I'm actually going to give you a sneak peek at how powerful this thing is live. So check this out. So just for this example, I'm going to use fireplace. So imagine I'm starting a fireplace store. So I can go over here to all categories and I can just go type in any product type that I want. So fireplace. Just like this. And then with a single click, just one click, I can press View Suppliers. Now, this information you see on the screen right here, this would have taken weeks, if not months, to find before this tool existed. And now you get every single one of the top fireplace suppliers with a single click. And not only do you get that, you get the average price of their products. You get the average demand of their products. You get the price range of their products. You get other product types that they sell. And you get that all with a single click. That saves you weeks, if not months of time. And this is the biggest hack and the biggest advantage any e-commerce store owner can possibly have. But I just want to give you a sneak peek. So as you can see, you can find multi-million-dollar suppliers within just a few clicks. And guys, one single supplier can create generational wealth. Ryan here went from absolutely zero to $1 million in just 90 days. You can see right here, he joined the program October 12th, 2023. In under 3 months later, by the end of December, he had passed over $1 million. And I know how insane that sounds, so I'm gonna let him tell you for himself.
Yeah, absolutely. So officially crossed the $1 million mark in total sales in our not our first full month, our third full month. We did over 100K our first full month, and then did 2 consecutive months of right around 500K.
Now, question for you. Could you click a few buttons to find $1 million supplier that could change your life? Click, scroll, click, 7-figure supplier. So now Taylor did, because he literally made his previous month's salary within a single weekend, where he sold over $12,000 of items within a couple of days. So did Natalie, who sold a $6,000 item at 35% profit. That means she made over $2,000 take-home income from selling one item. Now, in order to become a no inventory dealer and partner with these brands, you're going to have to get permission to sell their stuff. And for some insane reason, many of us were raised to think that we should not talk to strangers because something bad would happen. And here we are, as full-grown adults, still afraid to talk to strangers. That's nearly as bad as being afraid of the dark. So here is the #1 most common type of self-sabotaging behavior that I see that costs people life-changing profits. People will say to themselves things like this: I'm new. Why would a brand ever allow me to sell their stuff? And my reply is always, they just do, or at least enough for this to happen. And as a brand owner myself, I can tell you, the #1 thing that I want in my business is high-end resellers. Why? Because you make me more money. And it's a very symbiotic relationship. You, as the store owner, help the brand make more money, and in return for doing so, you get a big cut of what you help them make. And thousands of people have done this. Are you telling me that every single one of those people you see on the screen right now, who are in the exact same situation as you, had something magical about them that you didn't have? Shannon here is 16 years old. He's literally not even old enough to vote. He's 5 years away from having his first legal beer. He came in, he closed a supplier that gave him 50% margins, and then he made a sale for over $5,000 at literally 16 years old. He can't even vote, but he's still here closing $5,000 deals. Now, question for you. If I gave you 300 words in a document, could you copy them and then paste them in an email? Yes or no? Copy, paste. Because if you say no to that, it's going to be very hard for me to make you rich. And that's why I say almost anyone can do this. But if you can press copy and if you can press paste and you can move 300 words from a document to an email, then I owe you a huge congratulations because you have officially graduated from Supplier Outreach University because we give you exact scripts. Now, here's what I know about you. If I let you write the scripts yourself, who knows what you would come up with? So I'm not going to let that happen. So just like we don't give children adult scissors, I've made these scripts beginner proof and they will act as the perfect guardrail for you so you don't have to worry about anything except copy and pasting. So if you can do that, which you told me you could, I'm going to give you the exact scripts so you don't have to write a thing yourself. Now, you might need to slightly adjust it. And here's what I mean by adjusting it. Say if you're following a cooking recipe and it calls for 1 tablespoon of something, but you don't have a tablespoon, you only have teaspoons. The question is, do you trust yourself enough to figure out how many teaspoons equal a tablespoon? And with access to the internet, do you think that that is something that you could figure out on your own? Well, here's your answer. Now, could you fill in your name where it says name here? These are the type of adjustments that I'm talking about. So if you can copy and paste the script and you can make ever so slight tweaks, that's all you need to make this work. And partnering with one single supplier can completely change your life forever. And using these scripts, Jag here was able to close 15 suppliers within a single week. James here has been able to partner with life-changing suppliers that give him 40% profit margins, which has allowed him to make $24,000 within 2 minutes and build his business to over $100,000 in a single month. Partnering with high-end brands is how Mateo here hit $60,000 in his first full month running ads. So at this point, we've covered paycheck products and more specifically, how to find winning products that cost over $1,000 with existing buyers and how to identify and partner with top suppliers. And now you're probably wondering where we're going to sell these products. And that brings us to the next step, which is creating a virtual showroom. And you might be wondering what a virtual showroom even is. And to illustrate, imagine you're going shopping for a sauna. Would you go to Walmart or would you go to the grocery store? Of course not, right? Historically, you would go to a showroom that looks like this. So why do you think that is? Because showrooms are usually experts at the one thing they sell, which in this case would be saunas. So any time in history before right now, building a showroom would have required hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a physical location, hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory to display the items, and you would have to pay expensive employees' salaries to manage the store. And the only customers that you could sell to would have been people within driving distance of your showroom. But now, technology and artificial intelligence have absolutely revolutionized the game, where we can build a virtual showroom where we pay $0 rent, where we don't have to pay a penny in inventory. We require 0 employees because technology and AI will do all the work for us. And instead of only selling to people in one single city, we can sell to over 400 million people across the country at once. Is that not absolutely incredible? Now, picture this. Your virtual showroom is live, and rather than having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started like you would have had to any time in the past, you just launched your virtual showroom borderline for free with technology and AI doing all the work for you. And not only that, you can now run your business from anywhere on the planet where you can bring a laptop and you can get access to a Wi-Fi connection. So here's how you actually build one of these showrooms. So we set up our showrooms on a platform called Shopify. So now, question for you. If I put together a puzzle and I left 1 or 2 pieces out, do you think that you could finish it? Of course, or I would hope so at least, right? Well, that's what it's like building your virtual showroom on Shopify. Because Shopify has what I call pre-built website templates where 99% of the work is already done for you. You simply have to fill in a few blanks. So does filling in blanks on a pre-built store seem insanely complicated? And could you fill in a few blanks if it meant that you could be financially free? Kelly was able to, and her customer trusted her enough to wire her over $16,000 for one single order. Delisha as well, who sold an item for over $7,500. Now, doesn't it suck that most people alive today will never know how easy technology and artificial intelligence make all of this? But the important thing here is this. If those people did know and they didn't take action, well, that means that they played an active role in their own downfall. It's a red pill, blue pill situation where once you know it's possible to build these virtual showrooms, you no longer have an excuse to not make money and become free. So ask yourself, what would you need to do today to make absolutely sure that you do not play an active role in your own downfall 5 to 10 years from now? So do you see how close you are? You are one single supplier away from the financial independence you deserve. So now that we have a paycheck product in a virtual showroom, it's time for the fun part where we make the money using fast selling systems. So the number one reason people fail is because they sell their items online completely wrong. They try to fight the hardest uphill battle on the internet by using the most competitive ad platforms to try and sell some useless Chinese product to a complete stranger who showed zero interest. So do you see the problem with this? I'd rather chew glass than run my business that way. So that's why I do things differently. And I'm going to teach you not one, but two fast selling systems that you can use to rake in profits from day one. And one of them is completely for free and it's going to cost you absolutely nothing. And the other one, if you invest a little bit into advertising, you can get a whole lot more back. But both of them work. So let's start with advertising, which as I said, does require a small investment. But again, it's completely optional. And I'm going to show you the free one here shortly. But it's important for you to know. Now, the reason advertising is a $1 trillion industry is because everyone who's someone understands that if you can put $1 into a system and get $2 out, then you can pretty much get as rich as you want. And the closest thing you will ever find to money growing on trees is a system that gives you more money than what you put into it. And that's what advertising is when it's done right. The problem is, for every one advertiser who does things correctly, there's a million who are in the advertising graveyard. And the ones who succeed use this one special trick that I call the bullseye method. And the bullseye method is what Roger and Nathan used, where they hit $170,000 in sales in a single year, and they got back over $17 in sales for every dollar they spent on ads. And what the bullseye method does is it targets purchase-ready buyers who have their card in hand, ready to send money directly into your bank account. So the way we find purchase-ready buyers is by using Google, because it's a search engine. See, when you advertise on Facebook, you're just showing your ads to a random audience of people. But on Google, if I partner with a brand called Healthmate Saunas, I can literally target customers searching up terms like this, buy Healthmate Sauna. So can you imagine how much easier it is to sell a Healthmate Sauna to someone searching up buy Healthmate Sauna opposed to some random stranger on Facebook who's shown zero interest? And this strategy is what Nart used, where he spent $15 and it brought him back over $9,000 in sales. That is over $600 in sales for every dollar he spent on ads. And the bullseye method is also what Trigg used to hit over $20,000 the very first day he launched his ads while spending only $20. So it's pretty crazy, isn't it? So question for you, if you found a magical ATM where you could put $1 in and get $15 back out, would you use that ATM? Well, I would hope so. And when you do your advertising right, that's exactly what it's like. But to be honest, we haven't even got to the craziest part yet. The second fast selling system I'll be showing you now is known by less than 1 in a million people. And I say that without any sarcasm. So how do I know? It's because I literally invented it myself. And this is the first time that I've ever shared it publicly. And I can guarantee you it's like nothing you've ever seen before. So now this second system is what I call big budget e-commerce. And simply put, with this system, we want to target businesses instead of customers. And we're going to do that without spending a penny on advertising. Now, this is a game changer because businesses have so much more money than people. And since nobody tries to target businesses directly, there's virtually zero competition. And you might be thinking, why would big companies want to work with me? And it's good that you're thinking that because you're going to absolutely love the answer that I have for you here in a minute. But before I show you how, I want to show you the type of results that this system can deliver. Well, this is the system behind Cabrin's $168,000 order to a Las Vegas strip hotel, where he didn't spend a penny on ads to make the sale. So when Cabrin gets a $168,000 order at 35% margins, that means he made over $58,000 take-home profit on just one order. Or when he gets an order like this for $109,000, that means he makes over $35,000 take-home profit. That is nearly $100,000 profit on 2 orders. And if you think a Las Vegas strip hotel is a crazy customer, wait until you see this next one. Are you ready to have your mind blown? Cabrin is the official vendor for the USA Army. And here's an up-close picture of the agreement. Now, in case you didn't know, the US Army has a $177 billion per year budget. So a $100,000 order to them is less than a penny to the average person. Now, question to you. Now that you understand the types of customers that we're targeting, even if you've never seen $100,000 in your life before, would you be okay with asking for it, knowing how little it is to some of these companies? And it's not just Cabrin. Yuvi here came in as a complete beginner, and he sold a single item for $77,000. So here's him describing what that experience was like.
Yeah. So within about a week and a half, there were 2 sales that came in. The first sale was $77,000 from one order itself. No customer questions, no sales journey. I would have thought that I would have gotten a call about the product and things like that. Nothing, just a straight order. So that was really cool to see.
So the big budget e-commerce system is extremely simple. You have to send the right messages to the right companies. That's it. Now repeat after me. If I send the right messages to the right companies, it is completely unreasonable for me not to see results like Bryn, who got a B2B sale for $48,000, or another one here for $34,000 at 40% profit margins. And I will succeed because I'm following the exact same system. Now, question for you. Would you be willing to send a few emails if it meant making $100,000? You type in a few words, bam, $100,000. Would you be willing to do that? That's what happens when you send the right messages. Now, there are three main reasons a business will buy from you. First, you can save them time. Second, you can save them money. Or third, you can help them make more money. And that's true whether you are a beginner who's never done this before or you're someone who's done this a million times. As long as it's obvious that you can help the business by doing one of those three things, as long as it's obvious that you can help them, do you think they care if you are 20 years old or 80 years old, or if you have a master's degree or if you worked at McDonald's? As long as you can help them make more money, it does not matter. And if your message to them does not clearly communicate how you can help them, it does not matter if you're 180 IQ, black belt, genius. It does not matter if you're Albert Einstein. You will lose unless your message clearly shows how you can help them save money, how you can help them make money, or how you can help them save time. And if your message does show them how you can help them, it doesn't matter if you're 50 IQ, need to wear shoes like this because you literally can't tie shoelaces, you will still close deals. So you might be wondering, how can you help a company make money? But first, I have a question for you. And look, I get this might be new for you and you probably haven't done something like this before, but the difference between millionaires and those with a few $1,000s to their name is the millionaires are willing to be slightly uncomfortable so they can live a completely comfortable life for the rest of their lives. In fact, I know if you would be willing to risk a few conversations, your life would be completely changed. And the reason most people stay poor is because they're afraid to do things like send a simple email. So the question I have for you is, would you risk a few emails for a completely different life? So here's an example of the emails I'm talking about. Let's say for a moment that you own a gym. Your members love it, but your competitor across town can somehow charge way more money than you, and you can never quite figure out why they can charge more. But then let's say you get an email from me, a store owner, and I say, hey, I noticed your competitor has a sauna available for their members inside the change room that allows them to charge higher prices and retain their customers longer. How about this? I'll come set up 2 saunas in your gym, and if you don't see a membership length increase and an ability to increase your prices, then I'll come take the saunas down and I'll give you all of your money back. Now, for you as the gym owner, that is a no-brainer because I'm helping you make more money. Do you see what I mean? So the question becomes, would you be okay with asking a gym for $20,000 if giving you that $20,000 would help that gym make hundreds of thousands? Yes or no? And would you be willing to risk a few emails like the one I just showed you if you knew for certain that it could be the difference between your financial situation right now and making B2B sales for $30,000 like Twy here, $30,000 plus order? Because if you are willing to risk a few emails like this, then this could be your future. Kelly, a B2B order for over $16,000. Isaiah, a B2B sale for over $15,800. So that covers the importance of the right messages. Now we need to find the right companies. So for example, if I had a store selling pizza ovens, I wouldn't send messages to dog grooming companies. I would want to send them to pizza restaurants. Now, the easiest way to tell if it's the right company is that it is so obvious that not having one of your products is costing them money. Like a gym that didn't have a sauna and therefore couldn't charge more money for their memberships, or selling heaters to a restaurant that couldn't open their patio in the winter and therefore double their capacity and double their sales, or selling a third salon chair to a hair salon which is currently fully booked with only 2. There is thousands of companies out there which you can help make insane amounts of money. So the question becomes, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to help them, or are you going to let someone else steal that money from you? The choice is yours. Now, can you see that you are facing the single greatest opportunity of our generation to make money online? Because in our time together, I've shown you how to find paycheck products where you can make over $1,000 profit every time you sell an item, and how you can find the top suppliers within just a few clicks by using my secret tool, which you'll soon have access to. And then I showed you how to list these products on virtual showrooms that are entirely fill in the blank, and even how you can get sales for over $100,000 without spending a single penny in in ads. I can show you hundreds and hundreds of people who are in your exact shoes, who have used this exact system that I just showed you to build life-changing businesses. Now, question for you, does this mean that you can do it too? And here's the answer. Probably not, or at least not alone. So if you left this video right now, are you instantly going to go set the world on fire with your online income skills? I doubt it, because I know you better than you know yourself. You're stubborn, and I know if I let you, you will instantly default back to your old habits that have held you back your entire life. You see, the difference between those who are successful and those who are not is those who are successful have some kind of advantage. And it's not that they're smarter, it's not that they work harder, no matter how much they might tell you that they do. You see, making money online is a lot like a combination safe. And the ones who succeed have the combination to that safe while you are still stuck trying to guess the code. And is that unfair? Absolutely, it's unfair. So you could curse and you could complain about how unfair it is, or you could ask yourself, how can you get the combination to that same safe yourself? And I'm glad you asked, because imagine if just for a second, if there was an inner circle where there was a group of people guided by absolute experts in their domains, who are collectively responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars, who could instantly crack the code to the safe of online business better than anybody else. The inner circle is always 3 steps ahead. And the results that I've showed you of students so far pale in comparison to some of the ringleaders of that circle, like Trigby here, who's done over $50 million in SEO sales, or Connor, who's done over $70 million in email marketing sales. So now that you know this business exists, your eyes are open. And the way I see it, you have 3 options right now. First, you could choose to be a regular civilian. You could click the next video on your sidebar over there, and you could act like you never learned anything about this. And if you want to do that, go for it. You're definitely not the type of person that I want to work with. Option 2 is you could take what you learned so far today, and you could go watch other videos of mine and try and figure this out all on your own. It's up to you. And that leads us to option number 3. You could hop on a free profit planning call with one of my expert coaches to see if joining the inner circle is something that makes sense for you. What I'm referring to is the high ticket e-commerce incubator mastermind. You see, everyone I've showed you so far today, they all had access to the older previous version of the program. And we have now taken the top program on the market and supercharged it to an entirely new level where it is now above the clouds. When it comes to making money online, this is the very best program. And if your mind is not absolutely blown away at the offer I'm about to make to you, then I question whether you have a mind at all. Because over the last 100 days, we've interviewed thousands of people, and we've asked them all one simple question. If you could have a magic wand and you could create the ultimate e-commerce program, what would that look like to you? And the most popular requests were things like unlimited access to a one-on-one coach, a step-by-step system with clear action task checklists, a buzzing community of like-minded entrepreneurs, which is great news because you get access to all of that inside the high-ticket e-commerce incubator program. There was just one request that we weren't sure how to deal with. And that request was people wanted to partner with an existing store owner who'd already built their business to over $100,000 per month. So the people we interviewed said they were happy to do the work, but they wanted an already successful business owner to be the brains of their business when just starting out. As you can imagine, it's very expensive to pay $1 million per year plus store owners to be mentors for you in your business. So rather than having to invest the full amount up front, these people we interviewed said they would rather just invest just a little bit up front and then instead pay a portion of their sales that the successful store owner helped them make, so the store owner would be absolutely incentivized to help them win. And now for a very limited time only, we have made this a reality. We've opened up 50 spots only to work with our 7-figure coaches, where you can have them partner with you on running your business. And you can apply to that program by tapping the button below where it says book a call.